Hi, welcome back to Cambridge Inside Out. I'm Judy Nathans.
And I'm Robert Winters.
And we're going to continue our slogging through. No, I shouldn't say that.
Slogging through. So a couple more items from City Council. Then we want to talk politics. You know, I always say to people, I know a lot about civics. I hate politics, but truth is, I don't really hate
to talk about
politics.
some of the candidates.
But I think it's so probably
let's finish the.
timely.
But that meeting was, had a lot of stuff in it. Actually.
There was definitely a lot of stuff. Another item that always brings some strong feelings is safety in Central Square and
That had a big discussion.
So there were actually a few people who were in public comment, including one business owner and the executive director of the Central Square Business Association, advocating for having
the new executive director.
the new Michael Monstein. To put back in something like a police box or a location like an outpost where a substation. People use different words. It's sort of, I always find it to be almost sort of a little loosey-goosey about what they really mean by that.
Yeah.
Many, many decades ago, there was a police box in Central Square.
When you say box, like a telephone booth or something?
It was about that size originally, the one, But the thing is that my recollection when there used to be something there was that it was sitting there and it was vacant all the time. Maybe it was occasionally somebody would be in there because it was a phone or something. But now with cell phones, you wouldn't do that.
Exactly.
So even if you put in a structure, my personal sense is that if that's all it was to be a little outpost, it would never be used.
Right.
So
it should be more functional than that. Yeah.
Well, the proposal I've been saying to Public Works Commissioner and the Police Commissioner, all of whom sort of like the idea, but making it happen is unlikely.
Thing. Yeah.
Which was if you could actually get a storefront location, maybe in the Holmes building, right at Carl Barron Plaza, which could be kind of a multi-purpose.
They need something there,
But it could be a station where the MBTA workers can go in there, especially in a winter. They can go in there. They could leave stuff and do whatever.
A public bathroom.
You could have the public bathroom incorporated into that, and you could also have a police substation, not substations, but really a place where a cop could be. You could also be sort of a public information center.
I was going to say, all the routes, the bus routes and schedules.
Have it all
It'd
there,
be great.
right? And have it right in the heart of Calvert Plaza. Now, of course, you have to negotiate with a property owner. But I think it would be a good thing.
Yeah.
But the problem is, and this sort of it's true in Massachusetts, and it's certainly true in Cambridge, is that coordination between different interests, whether it's different levels of government, or between government and private property owners, whatever, is something that almost never happens. It's just, it's
seems that way.
It's a shame.
The further you go up to the federal government,
I kind of wish we could kind of address that.
Everyone has to have their own agenda.
Yeah. Now,
so what was the result of that? It was a long discussion.
I think in the end they talk, and then they say move to place on file.
Okay, so that's basically when they can't decide something to place on file.
Yeah.
Or it doesn't move. Yeah.
Right. So, but anyway, that's something that I would certainly hope might happen. But that was a city council order, so it wasn't a manager's action agenda item or anything like that.
Oh, that was a city council? Oh, that was a policy order?
Yeah, that was basically came from Mayor Simmons and Vice Mayor McGovern seeking something like that. I totally respect the sentiment. Yes. But the execution of it is something I think people really have to think a little more creatively.
They better wait till they have a new police commissioner, too.
Yeah, talk to new police commissioner. Absolutely, absolutely. One last thing here before we go on to politics. As you were mentioning here, there was a city council order. I think it was from, who was that from? Councilors Kelly and Devereaux.
About the...
asking to kind of change the way the city council agenda is structured to have a place right after the manager's agenda.
Between public comments. And before the city manager's.
Oh, that's right. Right before the manager's agenda for a quote general council discussion.
Yeah.
Now,
what are they doing for 3 hours?
I've been going up there for 35 years. It's been nothing but general council discussion.
Exactly. That's what they're paid for.
Right. So. Well. Anyway, I'm a little spooked by that.
Why are there? I like this new word, silos. They've been using a lot. Well, but they're in their own little silos.
They are in their little silos. So they basically said, that we can tell our fellow councilors of the projects we're working on.
This was Kelly and Devereaux, right?
Yeah, but the thing that I find bizarre about that is that the way things have always worked and should work is people come in with ideas. That's what city council orders are. Whether it's an order, a procedural one to form your councilors, hey, let's do this, or ask the manager to review report on something, whatever.
Yeah.
And then it gets referred to a city council committee, and then you work on it, and you do it, and you have public input and public meetings.
Right, that's the way,
The trend that has been happening, to some degree, fueled by the existence of city council aides, most of whom I like, they're friends, right?
Yeah.
But is to have individual councilors sort of work privately now on
to
things
produce their own
out of public view.
Yeah, right.
In a city council where everybody's all worked up and worried about things like open meeting laws, to basically acknowledge that in fact, well, we just work privately on stuff here, and we want to have a little part of the agenda just to inform people what we've been on.
See, I do think it's the evolution of the aides that has caused that more to happen.
I think
now you feel like you have your own little fiefdom,
Yeah. So I left the meeting, so I don't even know what came.
But when you have a couple signers on these orders, that implies to me that they met earlier.
Yeah, and that's not a violation of any.
No, I'm not asking about violation. But I'm saying there must be some discussion among counselors in between, saying, "Hey, I like this. Do you want to do that?" So that's kind of what we're talking about.
So that's
right?
a good procedure. What you do is you actually put in a city council order, which basically says, "Here's something I think would be a great idea," and that's how you share it.
Right, but a lot of times these orders already have a few names on it. So how did they get those names on it?
Well, you can. That's not a violation. Just to
again, I'm not saying it's a violation. I'm just saying there obviously is some discussion that they've agreed on this. So I don't know. They must be meeting in between.
So and sometimes it's a member of the public.
Or maybe it's their aides that are talking.
Well, sometimes a member of the public says, Councilor so and so, we think this is an important resolution. We want you to put it in, and then they put it in. So, but the thing is, it comes in, and then they put it in.
All right.
And it's out in the public, and then the discussion happens.
So where did that end up?
I don't know.
Discussion? Okay.
So
I'll have to look and see what they put.
All right. So anyway, I'll say one last thing on City Council, not so much for this meeting, but next week, which I think is April 3rd?
Third, yes.
That's when, because right now in the unfinished business section of the City Council is, the big one is the inclusionary zoning amendments. So that comes up it was passed to a second reading, so it comes up for ordination next Monday.
Okay. Now, and there shouldn't be a problem with that.
No, it's going to get ordained 9-0, I'm sure. The only question is, are there certain late 11th hour efforts to amend it in certain ways? You can't really stiffen it from what it was already passed to a second reading.
Right.
So you can't suddenly say, well, we've decided to turn 20% requirement to 40%.
No,
you can't do that without, you have to go through the whole process again.
This is the whole thing with the PUD thing too, right?
Then there was that issue too. So
that's
it looks
gotten
like that's
resolved?
gone.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but anyway, there'll be a lot of people and a lot of discussion.
At that meeting. And then there's no meetings for the 2 weeks after that, I heard. Well,
part of it is Patriots Day.
Yeah, but the 10th? Because Devereaux kept saying that. There's no meeting on the 10th.
Beats me.
All right.
All right. But so anyways, people are going to be away.
Okay.
So moving on to other things, sort of hot topics here, and we probably want to pull up some graphics.
Should we go to, which one do you want to go to?
Cambridge candidate pages, actually.
Where is that?
Right up there.
Okay.
And,
so not the candidates, just the pages.
Yeah, no, because that's just a list. So this will actually just have the people.
All right.
So we'll talk a little bit about that. I do want to say, before jumping to some of the pictures, we'll see some of the pictures here.
Guess what? It's over there. Okay.
Right. So we're getting press releases are starting to come in now from candidates, new candidates. So not only are they candidate because they filed papers with the state, but they're actually putting out the press release because they want to get the attention.
Right. Oh, we have photos here. Thank you, Robert. I haven't seen these.
So anyway, so we actually had a 19-year-old Harvard student file for city council. Well, filed with the state for city council. Yeah. So we'll get to a picture.
All right.
We also have a 19-year-old running for school committee, right?
Well, we know him.
Right.
Will MacArthur.
Right. So this particular, we'll get to this. So let's just jump to some of the pictures. We can walk through. Ooh, that's the wrong one.
Yeah,
right.
I think you have to.
I got to do that one here.
And then go. There you go.
There we go. So this is something, as many people know, I do this every 2 years for the municipal elections.
And how do you get this information?
I steal it. Well, in a sense.
Unless they actually submit, sometimes they submit something to you, right?
So what I do is I put together a page here, and the reason why the pictures are the size that they are here is that I want it to also to work well on people's iPhones and everything else. So I don't want to make them too big.
Oh, that's good. No, very considerate of you.
Right. So anyway, so this is at vote.cambridgecivic.com is where you can access these, and I'll be updating these things from now through November. I mean, other people and maybe some local newspapers may actually do similar things too, but this has sort of become a bit of a standard. Now, who's actually pictured here? There are people who we know are candidates, like most of the incumbents, except
Dennis,
for David Marr.
Jan.
Right.
Leland.
Leland Chung.
Craig.
Right. Yeah.
Nadeem.
Right.
Mark.
Right.
Simmons.
Simmons and Tim Toomey is still in there as well.
He's down there. Yeah, I have to go down to the T's.
Right,
Yeah,
we can just use these little arrows to do some little scrolling down here.
There
So
we
we
go.
have Denise Simmons here. But in addition, we had an unprecedented number. Well, we have some candidates who have jumped straight in with full-fledged announcements, and other people who are raising money and have filed papers with the state to enable them to raise money. So they are candidates, even though they haven't announced as candidates. So I thought maybe we'll just sort of go up just to the very top again here. And I just sort of run through them. So alphabetically here. So there's Ron Benjamin. And again, some of these, I'm going to try and clarify who might not be candidates. But Ron Benjamin has very much said he is. No press release or anything like that. He was on our program at one point.
Right.
Dennis Benzan has put on a Facebook message pretty much saying, and a newspaper thing in the Chronicle as well.
I saw that.
Saying he's strongly considering it.
Oh, that's true. He didn't say definite, but he said strongly.
In the political dictionary, strongly considering means I'm in.
Well, it's also sending out, I know that word, sending out feelers.
Sending out feelers.
What is the feedback he's going to get?
Unless I get slaughtered by people and say, please don't do this.
Exactly.
I beg you, it means they're probably in. Dennis Carlone, certainly we expect to be running for re-election. Incumbent. Leland Chung, similarly. Leland didn't run as strong a campaign 2 years ago.
Yeah, and then ran for a state senate.
Got a fair amount of money in the bank, so I expect he will do a lot stronger campaign this time. There's a person named Olivia D'Ambrosio, who I've never met, but I believe does theater work and also does might
Cambridge
be yoga
resident?
and whatever.
Yeah. Okay.
East Cambridge resident. Again, there's no announcements or anything like that.
So she just filed with the
honestly,
to raise money? Is that how you know this?
Possibly. And, some candidates may actually file and then think twice and say, I don't want to do it. So who knows?
So it doesn't obligate you.
But to me, my criteria is if you filed any paperwork that says I'm thinking about this, then I'm going to put your picture if I can find it. Okay. I didn't get that contributed, by the way. I poked around the internet and found that on LinkedIn pages or whatever, but I make sure it's the right person, and then I put them up.
So then you put the.
Because I just want people to understand who these people are.
Right.
Jan Devereaux, incumbent.
Yes, we all know.
Right.
Okay.
Sam Geberu, who's relatively, I think he's 25 years old. Graduate of Cambridge Regional High School.
So from here.
So he's running and raising a lot of money and spending a lot of money too,
really?
I might add. Yeah.
Where? I haven't seen
the man likes his taxi cabs and coffee. I think he gets around.
Oh, you mean they can spend it on their own campaign?
Yeah,
I see.
You can use
it's
your
not like a public.
There's nothing illegal about it, but the thing is some people are sort of build up a good campaign war chest. A lot of people are a lot more fluid about it. They kind of like having the freedom to spend. Okay. Craig Kelly.
He never spends a lot.
Well, last 2 years ago, he spent far more than he ever had before.
Yeah. So, competition's
so he's certainly in the mix. I have Elan Levy's name there only because I suspected, based on some actions, that he might. I'm starting to wonder about that. So his picture may not survive there, but he was a candidate in 2015, so that's why he's there today.
Okay.
So he's a possibility.
Right.
Alana Mallon, who works for...
She does the Cambridge Backpack Program with
Weekend
Food for
Backpack.
Free. Weekend
right?
Right. And then also you said worked with David Marr?
I think when David Marr was mayor, she worked out of the mayor's office.
Right. So she has some municipal experience.
I still have Paul Mahoney's picture here. He was a candidate in 2015 because he has a lot of money and he never closed down his campaign account.
So possibly.
But it's a very, I have no idea whether he is or isn't. So I just want to say that up front. Nadeem Mazen is certainly seeking re-election.
Okay.
Right, Vice Mayor Mark McGovern is certainly seeking re-election. Right, honestly, I think those two names I just gave are probably the ones who are driving hardest to the hoop, wanting to be mayor. Gary Mello, I don't know if he's going to be a candidate or not, but he's been a candidate several times now, so that's why his picture is there. The 19-year-old I mentioned, his name is Nadia Okamoto, who only registered to vote on March 20th and filed papers with the state to be a candidate on March 24th.
So she must be a citizen.
March 23rd.
Right?
Yeah, sure. But the thing is I think 2 years ago there was one candidate who actually registered to vote, and then pulled papers to run for city council simultaneously. So anyway, she's 19, so the fact that she's only registering to vote in Cambridge now is not that surprising.
Okay. This woman looks very familiar. I wonder if
there's now I may mess up the pronunciation, but I think it's Sumbul Siddiqui, who was, I think she was involved with even student government when she was at.
Do you know how old she is? Because I think she knows my daughter.
Possibly, yeah. I do have it around here.
All right.
Yeah. She's 20. She will be 29.
She's a friend of my daughter knows her.
Come election day.
Yeah.
Certainly, Mayor Denise Simmons. We are expecting to run again. Again, there's no guarantees on any of this, of course.
Right. We're down. Why you keep scrolling? That's a school committee down.
Only because I need to be able to see in here. Yeah.
You can't see.
And then we don't know. And let's see. There's
this woman.
Vatsadi Sivanje, and I hope I didn't mispronounce that. Who's been raising?
I can never pronounce anything with an accent.
She's raised a significant amount of money as a candidate.
Interesting.
Yeah, she's.
Is she new? I don't remember that on the list.
She's brand new, and she's already raised over $11,000 for a campaign,
right there.
largely from out of town.
Wow. Interesting.
But that's not that shocking.
A lot of women.
Nathan Taylor Thompson was a candidate who appeared out of nowhere a week ago or so.
Wow.
So I put him on the list. He hasn't raised much. He raised $5 so far. That's it.
Wow.
And again, who the affiliations? Some of these candidates, I imagine, will be affiliated, form slates or be part of some endorsees.
They've been asked probably to,
Yeah, and everybody's kind of holding their cards close on this, so we don't know yet. Sean Tierney issued a press release a couple weeks ago about this. A good Cambridge kid, definitely. Paul Toner, longtime Cambridge resident, used to be head of the Cambridge Teachers Union, is definitely a candidate and a strong one.
And he's had a statement in the paper and all that.
Yeah, press releases have been out.
Yeah.
We still don't know whether Tim Toomey's going to run again.
Okay.
But, as of right now, he's a candidate, and we expect him to run, but we'll have to see what happens as the year shakes out. Romaine Waite was a candidate 2 years ago. He told me he was thinking about it, but there's a lot of questions to answer. And honestly, candidates have to ask about viability. Is this just going to be kind of an exercise in frustration, or you really think about these things. I don't know if James Williamson will be a candidate again, but he is definitely a perennial candidate. So that's why his name is there. Quentin Zondervan, who's actually I think one of the stronger challengers. Issued a press release yesterday.
/green part.
Well, even in his press release, he very much put in the names of Nadeem Mazin, Jan Devereaux, and Dennis Carlone, as sort of saying, we would love to have him join us. Of course, the way it works with PR elections is that if there's only enough electorate to elect 3 and you have 4, then your people who are supporting you are also your chief competitors. Right. On the other hand, they might actually take a seat from somebody else. Who knows? Hard to say. Now, there will be others by the time this year shakes out. City Council, but that's it for so far.
You want to go to the school committee?
So let's just run through here. It's much quicker. And again, there's a little bit of unknown in here. And there's 2 candidates who I don't know if they're really going to be candidates or not. And there's one who I don't have listed here who I'm pretty sure now will be a candidate.
Which is what? Who?
Fran Cronin, who was had been an incumbent.
I'm surprised
she's listed here, right? So I put her back in.
But I'm surprised. I thought maybe she'd go for city council, but.
Right. So we've got Monica Bowman, who is an incumbent, served 1 term in her first term right now. Fran Cronin has let it be known to former colleagues that she is very strongly considering being a candidate again this year. Nobody's really committed here, right? Jake Crutchfield, we don't know, but he was sort of part of the Mazin group.
Is this his second time?
Well, we don't know if he's really running.
No, but what did he run last time?
He ran last time. Okay. Yeah. I heard some rumors that he was, so I'm leaving him in there only because the rumors are there.
All right.
Emily Dexter was elected last time, so she's in her first term. So she's definitely, we assume, a candidate again. Freddie Fantini, the dean of the school committee.
He is there.
Definitely expected to be a candidate. Okay. Richard Harding expected to be a candidate, but let's be clear, there's also people people who I respect, who know, who say he's still considering being a
For the
city council
yeah,
candidate.
because you had mentioned that a while ago. Yeah.
So I don't think I'm giving away any confidences here, but
Yeah.
Richard actually some years ago actually pulled papers for both school committee and city council.
You can do that, right?
Well,
No.
you know, that's a little unclear. You can pull papers, but the question is, can you file papers for both?
Ah.
There have been candidates in the past who have pulled papers for both city council and school committee, maybe because they didn't want to let it be known what they were really going to do. And then when July 31st came around, that's when they did the filing. So we don't know about Richard, right? Alechi Cadete was a candidate
Right, 2
last
years
time
ago.
around. Might be again, but might not be. So we'll have to see. Kathleen Kelly, very much expect a
Popular.
candidate again this year. Will MacArthur, he's the 19-year-old on the school committee side.
But he went to school here too. I mean, he's also at Harvard now.
He's at Harvard as well. So
But
we
he
have,
did go to CRLS.
right. So we'll have two 19-year-old Harvard students, actually, one for city council, one for for school committee. Patty Nolan definitely running again. David Weinstein was a candidate last time
Right.
around.
I remember that.
Again,
yeah.
once again, I'm hearing rumors that he
Okay.
may be, but I haven't seen the evidence.
And there's
but-
no open seats at this point. That's-
There's no open seats.
Okay.
Right. So that's the lot of them there. Now, if we actually let's go to scroll up here. I just want
Yeah.
to let people know here.
Yeah.
And you're not seeing our faces that much up here, but if you click over
Hey,
there,
you don't need to see our face.
where
What
it
do you
says
want?
2017 campaign
Yes. Are there any listed yet?
event. Well, now this
Oh.
looks like a big empty thing
Oh,
here
I
right
see. But
now.
you have the deadlines and
Right.
everything.
So
Okay.
basically, what I'm doing is
Yeah.
the election commission has not yet issued the municipal
Okay.
election calendar. So this is largely taken from what I expect it will be.
Okay.
But eventually, this calendar will be available to any group that hosts candidate forums or even any candidates.
So
who
they don't
wanna-
conflict or they don't.
Right.
Yeah.
So this is something I was
Oh.
asked to do this by some people a few years ago
Okay.
to help people who
Yeah.
are trying to schedule events to make sure there are minimum number of conflicts. So this is really for any candidates or their campaigns to sort of,
Okay.
feel free to send me information about events coming up, and we'll sort of put them in here.
Yeah. Okay. So this is
And,
all about filing, election,
right.
voter rate.
Yeah,
Okay.
everything on candidate pages is completely opinion free. This is this is
Yes.
a pure public service, 100%.
And it's an
And actually-
excellent one.
Right, now if you could just
Yes.
close that window, and I'm going to go back here just to, now the right to the left of where you click for the print, it says 2015 campaign events.
Yes.
Just to sort of give you a little sampler
Oh,
here.
how it gets filled
Yeah,
in.
so this is how it was, we're actually not seeing anything. Okay,
why is
I'll
it-
tell you what, well, all right,
yeah.
so it was a nice
says
idea,
blank.
we're going to just
Yeah,
sort of skip
okay.
that here. All right, so anyway, so that was a little bit of a sampler of sort of
go
where we
here.
are with, great,
you-
we're here? All right.
Now we're
Are we
back.
here?
Okay.
Now we're back?
All right.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. But this is still early. We're not even out of March yet, and
Yeah. Almost.
there's at least one point of view that says that the city council election campaign doesn't even. Once upon a time, it didn't begin until way into the summer,
Yeah,
but it's been
it's so
pulling back
hot.
more
Yeah.
and more and more. And there's fundraising, significant amounts of fundraising involved. So the election schedule, for a candidate, now I'm not talking about the official one, is definitely been moved up. And
Yeah.
so, I certainly encourage any candidates to start, populating some of these pages. Or just, honestly, if you put things out even in the local newspapers, I'm just going to steal them and put them up there.
Sure.
A lot of that information, because this
And
is.
occasionally we've had guests on, but we're not going to be like
We're not going to.
replaced.
That's
No, we're not going to
our
play
job,
favorites or
exactly.
anything. No.
But the thing is that if some candidates want to approach us about the possibility of coming on here, we'll certainly hear you out. And
I'd
maybe
be
do it.
interested in sort of the really new, like on the scene people,
Yeah,
because at least they have
yeah.
never been known. And I would like
Yeah.
people that have been known and have lots of ways to connect to people. They
Right.
don't need us.
Yeah, exactly. Now, just in the last few minutes, I would say a
Yes.
couple other things. One of the things there's going to be a lot of money raised
Yes.
and spent and whatever. I actually start doing things like, I'm not going to put this up on the screen, but I'll just
Yeah.
sort of say here.
Yeah.
Just to sort of look at the amount of money some certain candidates have raised so far and spent, and even to see what fraction are coming from Cambridge sources
Yes.
and elsewhere.
Yes.
So the person who's actually raised the most money is Sam Gebru, who's raised.
That's really interesting.
And this is as of last week, so this
Okay.
had already raised over $15,000.
Wow.
He also
Spent 2,000.
he also spent almost as much. but only 2,000 of it came from Cambridge. So he's actually down at only 14% Cambridge contributions. That's not a great sign, but again, a lot of Cambridge people will contribute. So maybe this is just early fundraising, because he did a big fundraiser in Washington, D.C., for example. On the other end of the spectrum, I'm going to say, and I expect this will hold up for the rest of the year, there are certain candidates who impressively get almost every cent from Cambridge.
Yeah.
That includes Dennis Carlone, that includes Craig Kelly, and it includes Jan Devereaux, right?
But also Leland? Oh, you have a zero there.
Yeah, the
okay.
thing is, some candidates
no,
haven't
I'm
raised
sorry, I was looking at the wrong.
Yeah, some people haven't even raised a red cent, and honestly,
Yeah.
the early figures are not particularly meaningful.
Okay.
Many candidates will sort of come in the sort
right?
of in the 40 to 60% from Cambridge sources. I always get really pleased when I see candidates who are actually getting 80%, 70%, 80%.
But these very small amounts could be their own funding.
That's
from their
actually,
and they
that's
are Cambridge,
absolutely
right?
true.
Okay.
Absolutely
Yeah.
true. So so Paul Toner is 95% Cambridge, but that's a lot of it's because it was his own money put in so far,
Okay.
right? But Vatsity Shivanche is 21% Cambridge.
Wow, $11,000.
raised.
That's pretty significant. That's
I'm a little spooked when I see
who is that?
candidates who are just sort of showing up, not a whole lot of roots,
money. Yeah.
pulling a lot of money from outside. I said, what's going on here, right?
Yeah.
Because I do worry, and that's something maybe.
And it's only 21%. I get it.
Right, maybe we can talk about that in subsequent weeks. Is this sort of, to what degree? I mean, I've floated this notion before.
Sure.
To what degree is sort of national level interests? Like I wouldn't be surprised if the Bernie Sanders group, Our Revolution, kind of ended up sponsoring and promoting candidates here locally in a municipal campaign, which would be a problem for me because of a long-standing tradition of non-partisan municipal elections dating back to the 1880s.
Nonpartisan? What do you mean?
Well, I mean, there's local political parties, but no parties.
Oh, okay. All right.
So, anyway, so we're just about out of time here, so we'll talk more
next week.
next
We'll
week
see
on
you.
Cambridge Inside Out.
Good night.